Welcome to the channel. In this video, we will see how we can create the variables using a structure in different ways and how we can initialize those variables with values. In the previous tutorial, we have seen what exactly is a structure, how to define a structure, what is the advantage of using a structure, and how we can create the variables using a structure. Here I have the program which was written in the previous tutorial. We have a structure called as student, and in this structure we have three members. The first member is name, which is a character array, and then the second member is age, which is of type int, and the third member is roll number, which is also of type int. Now when we define a structure in our program, it provides us a new data type. And after defining the structure using the struct keyword, we are defining the variable using it. So first we are providing the type, which is a structure named student, and then the variable name, which is Anil. And then we are initializing this variable while declaring it. So we are providing the values for each members of the structure. In the same order, they are declared inside the structure. For example, first name is declared, so we are providing the value for this member name, and then age is declared, so we are providing the value for this member age, and like that. And after that, we are using this printf function, and we are displaying the value stored in this structure variable Anil, and we are accessing each member of this structure variable Anil using the dot operator. Now if I run this program, then you guys can see name is displayed, Anil Shetty, then age is displayed, and roll number is displayed. Now here we are defining the structure in this place, and then we are using that type to declare the variables. And here we have only one variable, and if you want, we can define more variables using the structure. So here I'm going to use the keyword struct and the structure name, which is student, and then I can create the other variables. For example, I'm going to create a variable called Amul, and after that, if I want another variable, then I can type in struct student Ajay. Here what we can do is, instead of writing struct student every time, if we want more than one variable, then we can use the comma operator and we can define them together. For example, Amul comma Ajay. Now this will define two variables, Amul and Ajay. And if you look at this, when we're declaring this variable Anil, we are initializing it with the values. And for this Amul and Ajay, we are not initializing them while declaring. Now the first thing that we do is, we will see what will be the default values stored in the members of these structure variables if we don't initialize them. So to check that, I'm gonna copy and paste this printf statement 2 more times, and then we will display the values of this Amul and Ajay variable. So we will display each member's value. So here I'm gonna change this one to Amul, and after that, here in the last printf statement, I'm gonna change the name to Ajay, and here also we will change Amul and Ajay. Okay, now if I save this program and if I run this code, then for this Anil variable, we get the value that we have initialized. For Amul, for name, we get no value, and for age and roll number, we get 0. And then for the Ajay variable, we get some random values. Now here we can say that we can't surely say that if we don't initialize the structure variables with some values, then what will be stored in the each members. What we can do is, we can tell the C compiler to initialize the members of the structure variables with the default values according to the member type if we don't provide the actual values. So to do that, what we have to do is, we have to write is equal to, and then in between opening and closing curly brace, we have to write 0. Similarly, we can do it for Ajay. Here also 0. Now, if you look at this Anil variable, then I'm providing the actual values, the name, the age and roll number. But for this Amul and age variable, I don't have the actual values, or I don't want to provide the actual values right now. So I want to make sure that if I don't provide the actual values, I want the members of each structure variable to contain the default values according to their type. For example, if you look at this structure student, the name is a character array. So it is used for storing a string value. Now a default value for a string value can be a string value without any characters. It is a string value with only string termination character. And for the integer type, we can say 0 can be the default value. So instead of having the random numbers, random values, we can have the default values. Now if I save this program and if I run this code, then now you guys can see for this Amul variable, name is no name because the default value is a string value with only string termination character. So it has displayed that, and then for age and roll number it is 0, and similarly for the Ajay variable. Now here the next thing is we can use this type of initialization only when declaring the variables. For example, here I have 3 variables, Anil, Amul and Ajay, and here after declaring them I can't write Amul equal to, and then I can't use the opening and closing curly brace, and I can't provide the values. For example, let us say Amulya, age is 22, and some value for the roll number. If I try to do this, then I'll get the error. So if I try to run it, then you guys can see we get this error. So this method of initialization can only be used while declaring the variable. Okay, how we can store the values in a structure variable after declaring them. Now here, if I want to store the actual values in this structure variable Amul, then what I can do is I can use the dot operator. So I can type in the variable name, which is Amul, and then I can use the dot operator to access the specific member of that structure variable. For example, age, then I can provide the value. For example, I can say 22. Similarly, I can write Ajay dot roll number is equal to some value. So here we are using this dot operator, and we are accessing whatever the member we want using that structure variable, and we are providing the, or we are storing the value in this case. Now if I save this program and if I run this code, then you guys can see for Amul variable I have provided only age, which is 22, is present here, and for Ajay variable I provided only the roll number, which is 23, which is displayed in here. Other than these two values, the remaining members are still having the default values which is set while declaring them. Okay, now by using this dot operator I can access each member and I can store the value. For example, I can write Amul dot roll number is equal to some value. And then similarly for the name I can write Amul dot name is equal to some value, but I can't do that. For example, if I write like this, then it will result in error. That's because when we have a array, the array name is actually a constant pointer. So we can't use this method to store the string value. But what we can do is we can use the functions like string copy or mem copy. For example, I'm going to use the string copy function here, strcpy, to copy the string value from one source to the member of this structure variable. So the destination is the name member of this Amul variable, and the value is Amulya. So I can write like this. And to use this strcpy function, string copy function, we need to use the string.h header file. So I'm going to copy and paste this here. So I'm going to include that here. And also this string copy function is not a safe function. If the string specified in the source, if it has more characters than the space available in the destination, then it will override the memory. So that's the one problem that we face with the string copy function. So here this tutorial is not about copying the string values, so I'm going to be using it for the simplicity. And just make sure that for this character array you specify a size which is always larger than whatever the number of characters that you specify in the string value. Okay. Now if I save this program and if I run this code, now you guys can see for this Amul variable, we get the values. Name is Amulya, age is 22, and roll number is 4512. And similarly, if you want, we can provide the values for this Ajay variable, and we can provide the values for every member. Now the next thing is, after storing the values in a structure variable, you can change the values present in that variable's particular member. For example, if I want to change the age value of Amulya, then I can do that. All I have to do is I have to write in the variable name and then the dot operator and then the member name, and I can specify the value. For example, I can type in 99, and if I save this program and run this code, now you guys can see Amulya's age is 99. Now the next thing that we will see is, here we are defining the structure in this place and then we are declaring the variables somewhere else. If you want, you can declare the variables of a structure while defining it. What I mean by that is, I'm going to remove this definition of Amul and Ajay, and also I'm going to remove this code. And here, while defining this student, if I want, I can declare the variables. All I have to do is, before the semicolon and after the closing curly brace, I have to type in the names for the variable. For example, I can say Amul. If I want more variables, then I can separate them using comma and I can name them. For example, Ajay. For example, Akshay, if I want one more. So we can use this comma operator and we can name as many variables that we want. So here I'm gonna use only Amul and Ajay. Now here also, when we define the variable like this, the memory will be allocated, but we are not sure what exactly will be the default value stored in the members of these structure variables. So we can make sure that default values according to the member type is stored. So to do that, we have to use equal to, and we can specify 0 between the curly braces. And for the Ajay also, we can do the same thing. Now if I save this program and run the code, you can guess the output now, because the members of Amul and Ajay will be initialized with the default values according to the type of the members. Now here, instead of the default value, if we want to provide the actual values, then we can do that. For example, for Amulya, I'm gonna provide the actual values. So let us say Amulya Shetty, age is 22, and roll number is, let us say, 231. Now if you look at this, then I'm providing the values for the members of this structure variable Amul in the order they are declared in this structure. First, name is declared, so I'm providing the value for name, and then I'm using the comma to separate the member. Then I'm providing the value for this age, and then I'm providing the value for this roll number. So this comma is used to separate the members. Now if I save this program and run the code, we get the value for this Amul variable, values. Now similarly, if you want to initialize this Ajay variable here, then you can do that, just like the way we have done for this Amul variable. Now the next thing that we will see here is, when we initialize the variables of a structure while defining it, if we look at the order in which we are providing the values for the members of that structure variable, then we are providing that in the order the member is declared in the structure. For example, first name is declared, so we are providing the value for name. Then age is declared, we are providing the value for age. Then roll number is declared, and we are providing the value for roll number. Now what if I want to provide these values in a different order? If you want to initialize the members in a random order, then we can use the dot operator. Then we can specify the member for which we are providing the value. For example, I can say dot age equal to 24, comma, to separate the member, dot roll number is equal to some value, comma, dot name is equal to value. I just misspelled roll number, so it is roll number, just like the way we declared in this structure. we have to write the member name same. Now if I save this program and if I run the code, we get the same result. So here what we have done is we have used this dot operator and we have specified the member name, and then we have provided the value. And here we can simplify this further. What we can do is, instead of writing dot then the member name equal to some value, we can write in the member name, for example age, then colon, and then the value. And for the roll number, we can type in roll number colon value. For name, we can type name colon value. Here we use the comma to separate each members. So instead of using dot member name is equal to some value, we can type in age colon and value. It will simplify it further. So now if I save this program and run the code, we get the same result. Now here, if you want, we can combine these methods, for example using this colon and using dot member name assignment operator. For example here, if I want, I can type in dot name is equal to some value. Here I'm combining using this colon and this dot operator. This will also work. I'm gonna save this and run the code. Now you guys can see we get the value here. And you can do this here also when you declare the variables while defining the structure. For example, for this Amul variable also, if you want, you can do like that. Or for this Ajay variable also, we can do, for example, I'm gonna say age is 20, roll number is some value, and then the name. I'm just showing all the options that you can use. I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna run the code. Now you guys can see we have initialized all these variables, and we have seen all the options that are available to us. So this is it guys for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, then hit the like button. If you don't like it, then hit the dislike button. If you want to say something, then write that in the comment box. For more tutorials like this, do subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later in the next video.